all set up and ready to go, and then your computer tells you, no, you're wrong. So that's where I'm at. Francine, did you want me to go ahead and begin, or is there something, are we still waiting for people, or if there's any questions ahead of time, we can address them for sure.
Good to go.
Thumbs up. We're good to go?
Yes.
Well, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to come back and start doing this again. 2020 or 2020 was a quiet time for doing things like this. You would think that I would have done more in the way of doing Zoom and conferences and that, but actually it was quite slow in a nice way as well. I spent a lot of time with my family, took my kid out for a lot of swims and ice cream. So I really enjoyed my time otherwise. But now we're back. And when Francine asked me to come back, I was ecstatic. I was like, this is great. It's a great way to begin. It's a great way to begin the summer as it comes along. And it's nice to be able to connect with people like yourselves again. So thank you again for having me. So with that, what we're going to do today is we're going to go over what I teach in the way of mindfulness is what I like to talk about. And then at some point, we are going to have a nice little mindfulness session. So mindfulness, in a lot of respect, is basically just becoming aware of things. We become aware of our consciousness. We become aware of our surroundings. We become aware of our situations. But really where it affects you is what comes from within. Having that awareness within yourself changes all the aspect out here. Most days, we are living with our senses projected to this outside world. And we deal with it internally. And what happens out here changes what's in here. What I'm going to go through today is to kind of flip that idea around. Let what's in here change what's out here. And it's very, very important because no matter what happens in your day, you can look at it from different perspectives. So we can look at it from a perspective where the glass is half full, meaning we're positive, or we can look at it where it's half empty, where we're always pessimistic, negative all the time. The same situation can arise for two different people, but how one reacts depends on their perspective of what's going on. And what goes on in here is going to change that perspective. But a lot of times we find that we are not fully connected or mindful of our true essence of what we are saying to people or how we're reacting to something. Sometimes when we're angry or when we're scared, we don't realize that it's fear that's driving us to act in an angrily way or an aggressive way. A lot of times you'll find that the things that make us do negative things is rooted in some sort of fear. So changing your perspective on the world around you will help eliminate those fears, which then snowball out to all these other areas in your life to reduce the aggression, reduce the stress and the pain. And so far, I've only just talked about the way we look at the world. Mindfulness is when you connect within you, is actually becoming aware of your own body. Having an idea of what your breathing is like. Having an idea of what your heart is like. If you have diabetes, any other illness of any kind, you become a lot more receptive to your own feelings and what your body is going through at any particular time. So you can reduce the amount of worry. I'll use diabetes as an example again. We have to check your blood count, right? You have to do things like that. But you can become mindful of your own body and get a true sense before you start pricking yourself. It's not to eliminate the need to prick yourself and check, but it is to have some confidence in yourself and to listen to your body, to know where your body's at. Because if you don't have time to check yourself, then at least you might be able to still proceed with your day in a healthy way by just listening to your body. And that same thing goes to exhaustion and anything else when we're working outside in the snow or in the heat in the summer. You know, making sure that we are connected with, do we need to drink a lot? Do we need to drink more? Do we need to get out of the sun? Do we need to go into the shade? Maybe we need to go into the lake for a little bit and have a swim. Maybe we need to calm down. Maybe we need to change our attitude and become more excited. Maybe we're just a little bit dull and you just got to wake up a little bit. All kinds of things and all kinds of factors rely on internal. So getting back to the point and where the external, for most of the time, rules what happens to us internally, allowing other people's negativity to affect you. Maybe it's not just other people's negativity. Maybe everybody around you is a very positive, a group of people, but your situations are always negative. Something's happening all the time and it's frustrating. Again, confusing or mysterious, where we don't know the outcome of something, and it causes anxieties and fears. So those things take control of ourselves internally. And when we get stressed out, that's a mental thing. When we get stressed out, it has a negative effect on the body. So when we are having anxiety, which is a natural response to protect ourselves, so it's important to allow anxiety to do its what its purpose is, what it's designed for. But we live in a day and age where people are stressed out and have anxieties most of the day, and that's not natural. So out in the wilderness, animals are used to fending for their lives, and they're used to looking at their surroundings and being completely aware of their situation. And when they encounter danger, there's usually a few seconds to a few minutes of action to which they have to defend themselves. Or if you're a predator, you have to jump in and attack your prey, whichever side of the coin one of those animals might be on. But there is an adrenaline rush and there's a high anxiety that is happening. It's very stressful. But then the rest of the day, should you be the survivor, it's much more much more easygoing. But my point is that you're not stressed out throughout most of the day, even if you are one to be an animal, to be always on the prey. You're the prey. You watch out for things, but you're not overly stressed out, except for those few moments of danger. But human beings have caused a situation where society is your jungle. Society is the danger forest that we have to survive in now. And there's all kinds of things that get in our way that cause us to be stressed, have anxiety, fear, and unknown, both to ourselves and to the ones that we love. And in some situations, it's our love for other people that is causing stress and anxiety. When we care for somebody, we want them to do well, and we don't want them to fall into danger. So we do what we can. And often that stresses us out. So without naming the gazillion, billion, millions of things that stress us out, it is my intention to just show you that becoming aware of what's inside, getting in touch with your mind and how it can flow quietly and calmly. And then when that is set, then your body starts to function properly. What I was getting at a moment ago, which I got sidetracked, is that when your body is stressed, everything starts to shut down. So an animal in flee, high anxiety, your body stops some of its functions in order for other parts of your body to take action. So right now, when it's calm, everything is flowing nicely. But when we are in a moment of danger, or what we perceive as danger, then things shut down in order for other things to get in, to take over so that we can survive our situation. So when you're stressed out, have anxieties, pain, all day long or most of the time, that means your body is not working at its full potential most or a lot of the time. And that's another thing that we are going to become aware of so that we can change that if that's happening to you or someone else you know. Okay, so that's what we're looking at today. Giving you the tools to take control of your body and take control of the way you see things and have more of a positive attitude towards all the things that arise in your life. So when things are nice and wonderful, you realize that and you don't take it for granted. And when things are perceived as negative, you don't go overboard with your reactions and you find a way to come back where you have control of how you act and what you say and everything involved in that situation. We're good? Okay. Does anybody have any questions pertaining to what I just said? Perhaps I wasn't clear, or maybe I sparked an interest in a thought of some kind. I'm going to just get a little closer so I can see my screen again.
All good, Rob.
Right, I can see someone has marked down the fight or flight comment, and it's exactly what we're talking about. Everything you do has to do with your survival mechanism. So the body and the mind, every moment of the day, even when you're relaxing and everything is sweet and beautiful, that is your survival mechanism is always on and off. It's just scouring your area and getting a sense of what is dangerous and what is not. And what we perceive as dangerous or not is on a level from 1 to 10. So a lot of things to a lot of us are not that serious. They're not that dangerous. They're at a level 1 or a 2. And every once in a while, it might shoot up to a 5 or a 10, or we perceive that it's a 5 or 10. It's not always that's not always the case, but we're going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt that you at least perceive that it's a 5 or a 10. And for all those things that are at a level 1, 2, or 3, that's good, except when you have a lot of 1s and 2s and 3s. So some people are able to navigate and follow the signs and follow those signs flowing into a positive path where things are easier, not so tough. We don't have to make grand big decisions, and everything seems to be a little bit easygoing. And if you don't pay attention to that, you might fall on a path that's going to lead you down a really bumpy road where you're going to constantly have to struggle with decisions. We're going to get frustrated. And how many of us have had in our lives where we just did so much in one day? Nothing really big has happened, but just a lot. And by 5 o'clock, you're done. That's just maybe a work day, or maybe not a work day. Just could be any day. Just dealing with all kinds of things can add up after a while. So again, we're going to come back. We're going to learn how to pay attention to that and be mindful of those situations and change our perspective. And hopefully in the end, by the time we are done, if you haven't already become accustomed to being mindful, that you will be able to become mindful of your situations quicker and easier as time goes on, because it's not always easy. It's not like you snap your fingers and I'm a mindfulness person. It challenges us, and even people, even at my level, things arise that could cause anger or frustration, and it challenges us in that way. So it's just something that helps. It's a tool. So I'm going to give you that tool. With me, to do that is something that people enjoy, is these singing bowls that I have. And I don't know what it sounds like for you over on your end, but in person, one of the things that's really unique and neat about these is that you can feel the vibrations of them whenever I strike it, or what we do with them is we make them sing. And this one here, I should probably not be using this one. This one here is my favorite one. It doesn't sound very loud, but the vibration is quite strong and it feels really cool. It's mesmerizing, really. But so this is the singing part. So this one here is easier to play. You'll hear it for sure. So I have a series of these bowls. They're all around me. And once I begin, you'll be able to see them a little bit more. I'll pan my camera so that you can watch me play. And I choose to use this method because, for one, it's unique. I could play some music in the background. And if you ever do mindfulness, you can put on your own music, music that you like to listen to. But there is something about meditation music, which is usually something soft and has a bit of a rhythm, the sounds of water, the beach, things like that, all work well. And we just say whatever works for you, as long as it doesn't distract you too much, unless that's what you want to do. If you want to just become in touch with the music, you can do just that. In this session here, you can do what you want. You can listen to the sounds of the bowls as though it's music playing in your ears and enjoy it that way. You can use the sounds of the bowls to help focus on your thinking. Or you can allow these bowls to just bring you to a different place in the universe, in your mind, and just go. You could do whatever you like. And that's the best thing about all of this, is that you are in control, and there's no wrong way to do this. So I get that a lot. Yes, this is going to be a session of meditation, but so that you all understand that meditation is not sitting and with your hands like this and just being quiet. In fact, meditation has been thought of as just thinking of nothing, which is not really possible. It's impossible to think of nothing per se. There are levels of consciousnesses that you can get down to where your thought pattern is very, very slow. But for the most part, it is you are always thinking of something. Even if you try to think of nothing, you'll be thinking of something, right? You're thinking of the not thinking of something. Does that make sense? Right. I think my phone's going a little crazy here. So, meditation is mindfulness. So if you never really put those two together, when I speak about mindfulness, mindfulness can be done all day long, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. Meditation is usually thought of taking a moment to sit somewhere in a corner on a rock, nice places, and go through a process in your mind, which is true. But meditation is the consciousness of flow, of moving. So you can be meditating all day long. So in India, for example, they don't see meditation as the way the Western world thinks of meditation. They see it as I just mentioned. You can be aware of things all day long. It is when you do yoga, you are paying attention to your body at all times throughout the whole process. And there are many, many different forms of meditation that all do the same thing. The core idea is awareness and becoming aware of certain things. So whether it's awareness of your body, actions, environment, thought, all those things, it's all the same, just in various ways and various names, and can be done all day long. So if there's any misconceptions there, I just wanted to bring that out. I don't know if there's a lot of people in the group who's done meditation or mindfulness. This is not my first time collaborating with Francine, so I don't know if any of you or all of you are the same group as that I've met before. But if anybody has any questions about that, I'm going to ask Francine to just pop on her screen so that I can see that there's something, because I can't really read the chat room from my distance here. So just let me know if there's any questions, and then I'll pay attention to that and go from there, okay? So I'm going to just take a second here to sit back and adjust the camera, and then we're going to begin a nice little mindfulness for a few minutes, okay? All right. I'm using a different camera as well today, so everything seems to be different for my presentation, but let's see here. This looks a lot better. Hope no one's getting seasick over there. All right, I think that will do for what I'm intending for today. Okay, so I was able to take a peek at one of the comments there, and I can see right away that there's a comment that is common, and that is that I attempted to do meditation. So I hope by the explanation that I gave that becoming aware of something is meditation. So the chances that you have meditated, even when you say you tried and did not succeed, if that's what you're saying, that there is a good chance that you did succeed. In fact, being aware of the fact that you didn't succeed in the way that you hoped, that is a form of mindfulness right there. To have an idea of what it meant to you, to what meditation meant, and what your experience actually was, and compared to that. That's mindfulness. And paying attention to those things as we move along is part of the point. So you will experience meditation today, for sure. See, and this is one of those moments where I wish it was in person so I can ask simple questions about people's lives. Like, how many of you had a garden that you had to cover because of the cold weather? Anybody lose any of their crops from the gardening? I don't myself. I'm trying to grow a bonsai tree outside, and that is my to the extent of my gardening. But I too had to be mindful of this. It's my first time trying to do a bonsai tree, and it's really tricky because they need a lot of water and they need a lot of light and they need a lot of care, and they're very sensitive. So now, the different sounds from my bowls, some are low and some are very high. If that is too high, again, someone can speak up, and someone can give me it's a little bit too, give me a bit of a thumbs down maybe to let me know that it's a little bit too hard on the ears. And obviously you're using speakers, so you might be able to adjust it on your end to a certain point. So I'm going to ask everybody now to get into a comfort zone. You could be sitting in a chair. You could be sitting on the floor. You can even lie down. Each of those things have a different effect. Depending on how much you want to get into the understanding of all parts of meditation, which we wouldn't have time to do today anyhow, would dictate where you might choose to find your comfort zone. So if you are able to sit on the floor, for example, I would recommend doing so. If you were to be sitting in the chair, making sure that your feet touch the ground. I would even add, if you can remove your shoes or even remove your socks if you're comfortable, so that you can have an actual energetic connection with the ground. That could change your experience, and it has for others. If you choose to lie down, remembering this, lying down might be your body might be telling you right away that you're too tired and that you need more sleep. It's one of the first things that people don't realize, or do realize once they start meditating or mindfulness, is just how tired they actually are. We don't notice this throughout our day. A lot of us feel comfortable on our couches or wherever, and we might be watching TV. But these are moments where your body is calm and relaxed. And for some people, that's most of their day. And some people like myself, and I know there are people over on that end that sit in a work chair all day. And it's a completely different sense than if you had to work outside or work in an environment where you're exhausting your muscles all the time. And our brains don't get a sense of relaxation, even though the mind gets tired when you're working at a computer screen all day long. You don't realize just how tired you are because your mind is active. And the very first thing that's going to happen once we begin, which will be like moments from now, is that your brain is going to go into a different wavelength. And that very first stage of wavelength that it's going to drop puts you in a relaxed state. And then you start to feel just how maybe tired your body really is. And it's, again, that first sign that maybe I need more rest, or maybe I need nutrition. Maybe there's something that's missing in my diet that I can start to explore to add that. Again, the mindfulness begins right away. So if you find that you're sleepy, that's fine. If your mind wanders off into some completely out of space experience, daydreaming, that's fine too. But if you sit and you sit straight, legs folded in on themselves, hands relaxed on your thighs, it becomes easier to focus on the thought that you are going to concentrate on. And so we'll get to the thought in a moment. So the first thing we're going to do, now that you're relaxed, I'm sure you've chosen your spot while I was speaking, we're going to take a deep breath in and just let our lungs expand to their fullest, all the way, and then exhale. And take another deep breath in. Again, exhaling all the way in. Hold for a moment and then exhale. What you're doing here is now you are paying attention to the length of breath that you're taking in. So if it's a 3, 4, 5 second, you can count or you can just become aware of it. You hold for a moment, whatever that feels like to you. And then you breathe out the same stillness as what you inhaled. So if it's a 3 count or a 5 count, you do that as you exhale. 3, 4, 5. You can do that this entire session. You can block off hearing what I say and just concentrate on your breath if you chose. If you're in a room where there are other individuals, we know they're there, but they're all there for the same reason that you are. So there is no need to feel embarrassed about what you are doing. Often I get that. It's a natural reaction. But we'll eliminate that when we are changed our perspective of our environment, which includes the people that are in it. So why I say that is when I say exhale, I would like for you to exhale with some force and confidence and not be worried about what other people are saying or looking at you for. So when you breathe in, it's like this. And then you breathe out. It's actually a really cool sensation when you're paying attention to the whole dynamics of one breath and then two and then beyond. It changes what's in here. It brings oxygen to the brain. And if anyone was or is a smoker, it's one of the reasons why a smoker might be able to overcome some stresses right away. It's not the nicotine, although when a smoker is having a nicotine fit, or it's that time of day where you would normally have a smoke, that nagging feeling tells you to go for a smoke. And when you have a smoke, that nagging feeling goes away, which is also comforting. But it's really that inhale. When a smoker, and I'm not trying to glorify smoking, but it is just a thought that when we take that deep breath in, just feels amazing. It just relieves a lot of stress right away. Now, how comfortable are you? Shoulders, are they tense? You be the judge of that. We don't want to slouch, but we do want to keep our back erected nice and straight and let that energy flow. Now I'm going to get you to take one hand of your choice, and I want you to bring it in front of your face. And this time I want you to inhale and then breathe onto your hand so that you can feel it. So I really want you to feel good about this moment. Despite what may have happened to you before now and what might happen afterwards, right now, just take advantage of this moment of being one with your thought, being one with your environment. And we are in a group today, so just be one with that we are together. But you have full control of your mind. No one's reading your mind. No one can get in there and peek into what you're thinking. We're all going to have a different experience in our minds. And it is okay to keep your eyes open. I would suggest not focusing on anything in particular and just maybe keeping a slight haze or a slight haze to your gaze, slightly peeking. But you can close your eyes. And if you do open up your eyes to look at something, go right ahead. But let whatever it is be your focus, and just focus on that. What we're trying to do here is take all the thoughts that want your attention, because for some, there might be a lot of things just attacking your mind right now. And that's completely okay. That's absolutely fine. What we want to do is narrow it down to one thought. By having control, we take control of the thought, that subconsciousness that's throwing things at you. We are now going to take over that subconscious by being conscious of the subconscious. So I see all these thoughts and they're cycling through in my mind. Whoa. Just one at a time. Freeze frame. All these thoughts, pause. And we can do that by promising ourselves. It's a dialogue that you have with your subconsciousness, saying, I will address that at the right time. I will get to it. I'll get to it today. I'll get to it tomorrow. I will get to it. You'll have your chance to speak. So committing. This is why mindfulness all day long, or mindfulness or meditation, sitting and doing something like this often enough, whatever that means to you, is very important. Often enough. For some people, meditation is a ritual. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I do my mindfulness. Not myself, it's too early. But for others, it's the perfect time. Often enough. So this thought that you want right now, you are completely in control. Would you like to address an issue or a problem? Or would you like to absolutely be done with the negativity and not think of anything? I do not want to spend this moment addressing issues. And move on to a wonderful thought of your choice. Again, just listening to the bowls, listening to me talk, completely ignoring me, which you can, and just focusing on other things. But I will just say, as a reminder, that if there is something that you would like to address that is bothering you, that's at the forefront of your concentration here, it's popped into your focus for a reason. It's the loudest thought that's coming through. Let's address that. If it's a challenge for you, then begin by asking, what am I afraid of? Most likely, there is at the core an element of fear in that problem. What is the fear? Not what is the problem. What is the fear? What am I afraid of? What am I really afraid of? What am I really, really afraid of? And as we calm and as we relax, we might begin to realize that I don't really have anything to be afraid of. It might flow to you right away. Okay. Second step is to address whether or not you're able to do anything about that or not. Is there anything that I can do about this? Yes? Oh, then we move on to step number 3, and that is exploring ideas in this calmness that you are in. It's the best time to explore this because the fear at this point might be already starting to dissipate, to move on. When we are completely relaxed and in our minds, the way we are at this moment, our survival mechanism starts to shut down. We are now separate from the things that we are afraid of. We are not in danger right now, and your body is fully aware of that. So in that sense, with a sense of not being afraid in this moment, our minds are able to come up with solutions as opposed to coming up with solutions on a whim when you are in danger. You're able to explore that now at this time. If there is nothing you can do about your situation, then you let it go. There's nothing I can do. Two powerful things happen. Acceptance. Number one most powerful thing in your life is to invite the idea of accepting things for the way they are. There is a story for everything. You can explore that and go through the past to figure out why things are the way they are for whatever topic that you can think of. But accepting it, it almost takes skill, but it just takes a perspective. Just allow yourself to accept it. Number one, acceptance. Forgiveness is the second powerful thing that you can do in your thought right now. For anything that you feel sorry for, regretful, it's okay. That was another you at another time. The you that you are right now is the only you that matters, not even the future you. That one will be important then, but right now, the only one that matters is you right now. Everything that you have said and done, everything that you thought you could do but weren't able to, everything that you attempted and failed, everything that you succeeded at, but it somehow invaded somebody else's ability to succeed and have happiness. All the things that come about with feeling negative and regretful, forgiveness just blows it out of the way. It's okay to forgive yourself. Knowing right now that you will most likely do something again that you might fail at. Accept that right now, because it will happen and it will be okay then. Forgiveness, forgiving yourself right now for the things that will come. Forgiving others for the exact same reason is what liberates you right away, brings freedom. And freedom is at the core of what peace is. We all want freedom. We all want peace. Forgiveness and acceptance are the practices that you can put into your life that will bring peace. And the more you're peaceful, the more things you're feeling good, the more the mind is at ease, and then the body does what it's supposed to do, which brings a healthier body, longevity. Another secret to that play between the mind and the body is that the body is always talking to the mind. This is how it works. This is science. The body at the smallest level within your cells has a vibration. It's an electrical communication that is sent to the brain, tells the brain what it needs, and then the brain reacts. It sends down the chemicals, it does all the things that creates this, and then that does that, and then so forth and so forth. So that when you are in a state of mindfulness, feeling ill might be something that you become aware of. Now, allowing yourself to open up to your mind and just think about feeling better. I would like to feel better. So there's a communication between your consciousness, your brain itself, and the body. Now remember, the brain is always active. It's not your consciousness. The brain is acting on part of your consciousness. The brain does things without you even knowing it. Your heart is always pumping because of your brain is in conjunction with the heart, but not because you told it to pump. Your heart is not, you're not breathing per se because you told yourself to breathe. You are always breathing. But interesting, at the beginning of our session, it's the first thing we did is concentrate on our breathing. Yes, we can have control of that. But try not to breathe. See how long you go before your eyes turn purple and your eyes start bulging out and your face turns purple, right? Your body will breathe automatic. So taking care of the illnesses in your body is something that your body will do naturally, all on its own. This is not about not taking medication. This isn't about anything like that. It's not about not listening to a doctor. It's just also paying attention, just knowing that you could communicate with your brain that will then respond to your intentions about feeling better. And what will happen then? You start to notice certain things that you didn't notice before. You may notice certain pains in joints. You may notice a difference in your breathing. You may experience pains in your head that you didn't know were there. Maybe you have a headache. Perhaps you're dehydrated. Now, here's the interesting thing. Paying attention to the little things, like I'm thirsty, is mindfulness that will bring you a healthier body. For example, by thinking that I'm thirsty, I could feel it, I sense it now. I didn't know I was thirsty a moment ago, but now I see, now you drink. And on top of that, your body might crave a certain type of drink or a certain type of food. And then that could be your body telling you that it's missing a certain nutrient. So we listen to our body. You may have heard about that. Just listen to what your body is telling you. If there's anything you can do right away, you do that. If there's something that needs to wait, you have that commitment with your body. Like I said, your subconscious, I will get to this later. Now, if you do this often enough, you'll find that you will go down a path of being healthier more often. If you are a person who's always getting sick all the time, you might find that you've reduced that dramatically. So I'm going to continue to play for the next few minutes. We are almost done our session already, and I do apologize for the lateness of the start. What I would like now is to just listen to the music or follow along with whatever thought you were thinking about during this whole session, listening to what I was talking about, if that was affecting anything in your thought. Or perhaps you just want to go on to that faraway land in a different universe, go there, think about things, and what you want to do today. And just remember to take that deep breath in every few moments. So now, just as you can communicate, when you communicate with your brain, it does certain things, talks to your body, and it flows in those three ways. So can be your intentions for life. By saying to yourself, I have certain intentions that I would like to see in my life on the exterior, you are more susceptible to following the path that's going to lead you in that direction. So if you want happiness, true happiness, and you really do follow the signs, it will lead you to that. So what I would like for you to do now is to, first off, just let go of whatever thoughts you were having a moment ago, both negative or positive. If there was something that you were struggling with internally, just let it go. Let it go. And now what I would like for you to do is to just think of something positive that you would like to see within yourself, within your experience, whether it be for yourself or someone else. It could be someone far away, on the other side of the world, if even. But have your intention out, and I want you to focus on that for a moment. Let that fill your mind. And now, I want you to release that. I want you to imagine that this thought is vibrating like a wave from your body out into the universe. And as I count down, I want you to let it go. In 3, 2, 1. Let it go. And then have confidence to just let things be and see if that thought comes to fruition. Don't stress out about it. Don't expect anything from it. Your expectations might lead to it to not come to fruition, but just having trust in it might be the very thing that makes it all happen. Whether it happens magically or again, it gives you the signs. You start to see the signs in your life to follow that will bring that intention to fruition. So I invite everyone to come back to the world that you know. Slowly open your eyes. Start to move around a little bit. Take a nice deep breath. And hopefully just enjoy the moment. And I hope you enjoyed that moment. And I hope you enjoy the day, the rest of the day. My dog is outside. I don't know if you guys can hear, but I think the sounds of my bowl have got him all excited. I can hear him yapping with excitement out there. So I'm going to just go back into my original position there and see if I can see the screen and come back and talk with you. Oh. Okay. This up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we need a little bit more height here.
Can you hear me now, Rob?
Oh, is that? All right. I think that's gonna have to do there. I'm a little large in the face here, but how's everyone doing? Everyone doing okay? Good, thumbs up. I'm not just going to leave you all hanging. If you have a few moments, if there's any questions or any comments or anything like that that you want to share, normally I would ask anyone to just open up about their current experience that they had, and we usually do have a few speakers who end up sharing that experience that they had. Like I said, some people go off to a place far away, so I've heard all kinds of interesting experiences before. And for some, it's just peaceful and joyful. And for others, some people go deep into a dark place, and you know, it's hard for them at times. But I'm imagining that today the sun is shining, that I'm expecting that maybe for whatever reasons that I feel good and confident that everyone had an okay experience. And hopefully no one went into any dark places that are bringing them pain, but it's all about the joy. I'm all about enjoying life. So I hope that happens for you too. I'm definitely going to go through these comments a little further after and just see. I see some nice comments already. And so I thank you for those comments there. And I could see that some people were experiencing a peaceful and relaxing time. So that's good. There's many things that I presented to you. Some things you might gravitate to. If it's just one thing, that might be all you need from today. But if you've caught a whole lot of different aspects and you're able to retain that and take that with you in your life, that'd be great as well. So very tired lately. How would that affect the meditation? So being tired, again, when you look at what the true essence of meditation is, and that's just being aware. So I'm going to use the word awareness a lot for this moment here. Becoming aware of things or becoming aware of something is the intention. So if you're too tired and you're not able to focus on anything in particular, It will affect you in that sense. So what will happen, right? You might go into a dream state where you start daydreaming about something. So that's not necessarily awareness. That is daydreaming. That is relaxation. Relaxation is also healthy and beneficial for you as well. So if you go into a meditation class, mine or somewhere else, or doing it on your own, and you find that you're falling asleep instead, that's completely fine. Even if you paid $15 to go to bed, that's okay. It's what you needed. And going with the flow is that purpose. You just go with it. You show up and you feel tired and you catch a little nap. That's totally fine. Go with it. And you never did it wrong. Just keep that in mind. You never did it wrong. You did it perfectly. And I have had people snore in the class completely. and again, we've had people who are so respectful towards the people who were snoring. It doesn't become this big thing that anyone has to be embarrassed about. It's just when you're in a group, and maybe you're experiencing that where you are right now, it's like you look around you and you just feel comfortable. It's okay with the people that you're at. You don't have to feel embarrassed or shy about that. So the tiredness will affect the energy flow within your body. So when you're mindful in a state of meditation, and let's just say I'm concentrating on my health. So now I'm thinking about any particular health issue that I'm having. So now my body, the energy is flowing. So at this moment of meditation, being too tired will interrupt that. However, subconsciously, when we go to bed and we go down to our brain waves go down to a really deep level, okay, slows down a lot. It's like a really slow wavelength. And your body goes into repair anyway. So our body is always in repair mode when we are sleeping, which is why we need to sleep. In fact, that is the reason why your body needs to rest to repair itself, and your brain needs to file thoughts and things, experiences throughout the day. So it's just repairing itself and organizing itself. That's what sleep does. So you can do that consciously while being alert and awake, or asleep. So that's how sleeping or tiredness affects mindfulness. The trouble begins is when you're so tired and you're really, really trying to ignore that to be alert and say, I'm trying really hard and I'm going to do this meditation and stuff, which maybe you experience right now. We don't want to fall asleep. We want to experience this moment, but we're tired. But that's that. Now, on the other good side, you see, there's a lot of experiences we can learn from that question that you had. And that is the whole struggle of trying to stay awake and trying to do mindfulness while I'm tired. That is your experience. That is the mindfulness experience. You are aware of that. And that's the sole purpose. That was your experience. That's what you meant to have experience at that moment, is that struggle. Now, I've been in rooms where the ticking of a clock was in the room, and that's all you can hear when you were in meditation. Tick, 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 tick. And the moment you hear that, that's the only thing you hear for the next hour, no matter what anyone else does. And so it can drive you nuts. And that's the point. It may drive you nuts. You may feel like you did not get the experience that you wanted, but you did mindfulness because you were completely concentrating on that ticking of the clock, and you had to confront that struggle. And anything else involved, that's mindfulness. How are we doing back on the screen? Lovely presentation. Thank you very much for the compliment. I see Francine clapping. So thank you. This is going to be the awkward part because I can't hear. So I'm going to say my goodbye, and feel free to comment, let Francine know anything. Again, if you have questions that come up afterwards, I will answer them. Let her know, she'll let me know, and we'll get back to you on that. Thank you again, Francine, for inviting me. I really do enjoy it. And I'll tell you, it felt really good to come back and start this again. And where I'm at, I just have the sun shining here through my window. And the whole experience for me was awesome as well. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you.
Talk to me again, and maybe we'll do it again if it's possible. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining today. And I hope everyone has a good rest of the day.